What's up guys, you're with Alex from Social Freedom, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing another clip from one of our live 5-day immersion programs, which is a little debrief that we do at the end of the workshop. And with this particular debrief, I'm working with a client who throughout the period of the 5 days working together had many sticking points in terms of dealing with a lot of unconscious, competent, bad habits in terms of his social skills, his behaviors, his mindsets, because he'd been somewhat indoctrinated by other interesting dating companies that were teaching a lot of stuff that isn't technically necessary to get a lot of really good results with attractive women through the process of cold approach. So a lot of the things that we had to do with this particular client was just unbrainwashing or eliminating a lot of those unconscious habits out of his social skill set. And as you can see in this clip, I break down a few of his sticking points, some things he can improve on. And hopefully for you guys that are into this type of men's self-development and you are going out there doing cold approach and you are trying to improve your dating life, maybe you can get some value from this because maybe you, my friend, are also in a similar situation in terms of analysis paralysis and also just overcomplicating the entire process when it comes to dating. All right, boys, see you in the clip. Once you have your opens down, bro, they're clean as fuck. Like they're smooth, you transition well, the conversation when it started is good. But one thing I might as well point out as well is the hand movements. Just remember that. Yeah. So from now on as you go out, just try to remind yourself to be relaxed, grounded, and take conscious effort not to move your arms around so much. Especially when you're like, yeah, you look really cute. It's like you're trying to use some hypnosis sort of like techniques to get the girls attracted to you. Yeah. It just shows that you're a little bit more nervous, you're in your head, and it's a little disingenuous. Now, it's a learned behavior, but once you can consciously eliminate that in terms of your body language and your sub-communications, you're good to go, bro, because I've seen you once you start to implement like correct body language, it's effortless for you. And then you transition the conversation perfectly. So all you gotta do, because you've been doing so much cold approach over the years, you've taken many coaching programs in the past with different companies, you have been doing this for a really long time. You've conditioned yourself into certain behaviors. So because of that, it's unconscious. And because it's unconscious, it's habitual. But what we need to do now is make new behaviors habitual and new behaviors unconscious. So you have unconscious competence and you don't have to think about it anymore. Do you know what I mean? It's like when we were working together and it's like, there was a few times where I had to jump into your interactions and pull you out of the interaction going, no, you can't keep talking to these girls unless you do it properly. So it's up to you now moving forward to make that conscious effort. Or if you're going out with the boys, the rest of the dudes in the social freedom community that travel with us, or any of your wings moving forward into the future, try to get them to even call you out as well, to give you a little bit of accountability. But otherwise, man, like we're nitpicking because it's like, fuck it, why not offer a little bit of value in terms of putting emphasis on the open? Because the open's not that big of a deal. It's like, whatever, like if you can show intent, as Ben said, if you can show intent, statement of empathy, you can introduce yourself and then transition into conversation. It's not the biggest issue, but we might as well, whilst we're doing debrief, just hammer on some of the things that we want you to tweak. Make sense? Yep. The really cool thing about meeting women during the day, spontaneously throughout your life, beaches, parks, bookstores, shopping malls, wherever, the really cool thing about it, dude, is you can just keep it so simple. You guys have seen some of my like in-field recordings and videos on the Unleashed program, right? We have a lot of content there in the course. And if you watch me or observe me, I'm not doing anything that fancy. I'm not being like overly charismatic or funny. The girls aren't laughing all the time. I'm not constantly teasing them or trying to throw in emotional spikes. It's pretty much just very conversational. I'm super grounded, I'm relaxed, I'm having like a genuine conversation. So once you have permission, especially from us that have been doing this for years, and I promise you when you implement this correctly, like look at a lot of the clients that get crazy fucking success, they just keep it simple. They just focus on the fundamentals. So understand that moving forward with a lot of the interactions you have during the day, if you just primarily focus on getting your opens really strong, showing that one little bit of statement of intent at the very beginning, and then just focusing on your conversational skills, level 1, level 2, level 3, surface level, personal and emotional, and also working on getting into those emotional layers in terms of your conversational skills, that's going to net you the vast majority of your results. What I would recommend for you, AJ, is moving forward, maybe for like the next month, just go out and only allow yourself to practice opening, good subcoms, good body language, practice being really grounded and relaxed, almost in a meditative state. Be very aware of like how you're feeling, the sensations in your body, be aware of like some of the limiting beliefs and stuff that pop up. And then just for a month to get rid of a lot of the other unconscious behaviors that you've learned through other coaching programs and stuff, just focus on your conversational skills. Just get to know the girl. Now ask her where she's from, why she's moved to XYZ location. What does she do for work? Does she enjoy what she does? What got her into that type of career? Does she want to do that for the rest of her life? You know, previous dating history, rah. You know all the conversational topics that we teach you boys, but explore it. And again, if you get confused about some of this stuff, just go and watch some of our infields on the course. You guys probably sat there and went, this is boring. It's like, oh, I was like so excited to watch this content. And it's like, that's all it is? I can do that. But yet when you go out there and you actually start trying to implement it, it's a little bit more difficult just to keep things simple, funnily enough. So when you do that, AJ, you clean up, bro. Your vibe's super chill, you're relaxed, the girls are way more attracted and more invested in you, and you have that skill set. It's just getting in your head sometimes. And what I want you to do as well is just like, the thing is, the really cool thing about you, AJ, is you actually, because you've been doing so much like pickup or like game or like learning these techniques for years through the community, you do have a really good unconscious competent skill set when it comes to teasing. You know how to do it. It's like you find really good opportunities to be funny, to give the girl a little bit of shit. But the difference is, and this is what we need to change, it's just when you see an opportunity that's like going to be a bit self-amused, you think it's funny for you, and it's like a good opportunity, do it. But if you feel like you're trying to force it to make the girl like you, just don't do it. You got to catch yourself out. As soon as you feel like, oh, I need to tease because the interaction isn't like moving forward and she doesn't seem like super invested, I need to build more attraction. Because again, we teach the ACA model, attraction, comfort, and arousal, right? That's the three emotions we want girls to feel when we meet them, to convert those numbers into dates and to take girls home, rah, right? Stop focusing too much on the attraction. The attraction should be in terms of like meeting chicks during the day. It's like your sub-communications, how grounded you are, how strong you opened, your eye contact, your conversational skills, and then your belief systems. So that's something we really need to focus on, because you, as you just mentioned, it's like, or Ben was mentioning, you feel, you kind of, there's an element of, it's such a harsh word, but like a desperation for that validation. That's what it is, bro. It's just needing that validation. It's wanting it, because you've been doing it for so many years. Like you've been doing cold approach for a while. It's something that's really important to you. That's awesome, bro. Because I guarantee you now, you keep going out the way that you do, you're gonna have so much success. But sometimes it's that, I need. It's not even, you don't even want pussy, bro. You want the validation. You want to feel good. You want to feel loved and accepted. You want to appreciate. You want to be like, have good game. And a lot of the times it's coming from a place of ego instead of genuine connection. So it's just trying to get more in touch with like your authentic self and being genuinely curious about the feminine and really trying to get to know the girl on a much deeper level. So that's what I would recommend. And understand that meeting girls during the day is actually real simple. Open, good conversation, level 1, level 2, level 3, the occasional challenge, the occasional tease. Make sure that you see the idea properly in terms of going for a date, run through our framework that we teach to going for numbers. And then, dude, you start converting. Now, actually, me and you need to sit down at some point and go through some of the limiting belief stuff, like some of the reframe frameworks that we teach in the course. I'm not going to do that now because I want to keep that for paid clients. I don't really want to put that on YouTube because it's just too good. So me and you will sit down as you're staying in Bali. I'll come and do some free sessions, bro. I'll come over with Jordan and Jimmy and we'll hang out at the villa and I'll just do some basic stuff with you. And I might do some role plays for objection handling and stuff as well, because I'm more than happy to help you boys out, because we're all here together for a while. But yeah, that's pretty much all I really wanted to say is like, if you focus on those fundamental things for the next month, maybe 6 weeks, until you really integrate the framework in terms of keeping things simple, I think you're gonna do great, bro. And maybe changing a few little belief systems, because I think the belief system stuff in terms of the mirror, in terms of what you're creating in your reality and manifesting into your life, it's just a reflection of your internal world. So if like girls are flaking, you're getting a lot of rejections, things are being quite tough, all that is a reflection of your inner world. So I'm gonna try to do a few tweaks moving forward after program. Let's move on to just some nighttime stuff, bro, in terms of the bars and the clubs. Something that I'm really proud of, which I think you have integrated like very well compared to a lot of clients I've worked with in the past, is you have obsessed over understanding to an unconscious competent level the framework. Open, social hook, sexual hook, vibe/objection handling or concern handling, and then taking the girl home. That's our 6-step framework. You understand that. Every single time I was out there coaching you, bro, and you were interacting with these girls, when you would come back, you knew exactly where you were, what you needed to do next, and what was potentially missing. And that's good. Now, can it be optimized? Of course, obviously. You can get it to a point where like you don't have to think about it at all. But the fact that you're consciously aware of where you are in interactions is really good too, because that's going to give you a better understanding of where your bottleneck is. So for example, maybe you're really good at opening, but you can't get the social hook. And then you get really good at giving the social hook, but you can't get the sexual hook. So like the girls are happy to chat, they're somewhat attracted, but then see you as a sexual viable option. Then we need to focus on making statements of intent, adding some physicality, moving her logistically, things like this. Maybe there's some belief system stuff holding you back. Maybe you're a bit pessimistic, maybe a little bit too in your head, being a little bit incongruent, trying a little too hard, whatever it is. You just make those little incremental fixes to keep moving through the process. And that's what's going to happen in terms of when you're learning. It's like when you first start going out to bars and clubs, again, as I mentioned, you'll get the open, you get the social, you get the sexual hook, then all of a sudden in the vibing stage, the girls just pick up and leave. And you have no idea why. You're like, what the hell did I do wrong? I don't understand this. But as you keep progressively moving through the framework that we teach, you'll start identifying the little sticking points that are holding you back. Once you iron them out, all of a sudden, getting to the vibing stage is a consistent thing. And you're like, oh, sweet. I'm building a shit ton of investment. The girl's left her friends. We're hanging out. It's like a little date in the club. This is great. But then when it comes to inviting her home, she gives you a few objections or concerns. You fumble. And then you just start all over again. You're like, all right, where's the tweaks that I need to make? Where's the sticking points I need to overcome? That's the next step in the framework. And once you get it down to a point that you have an understanding of all of it, that's when you're more consistently taking beautiful women home from the bars and the clubs, and you have more control in terms of your dating life. So I'm really glad that you've actually learnt the framework. Not many people do that. It gives me the shits, because it's like, we created that because no other dating companies give you a structure. And once you understand exactly step by step what you need to do, even though there's a huge level of authenticity and there's a huge level of your own personality being expressed, it's just the steps to move it forward. Once you understand that, that's what gives you control. That's what changed my life in terms of my previous mentor. Once I learnt exactly what to do step by step, it became more effortless. So I'm really glad that you've actually integrated that into like your nighttime interactions. And bro, like once you followed that, like you took that girl home the day before program, before you even started working with us, and it's because you just moved things forward and you followed a lot of the process and the stuff that we were teaching as we were broing down beforehand. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to mention in terms of your nighttime stuff. The other thing too, moving forward into the future with it, Ben's already kind of fucking pushed on a lot of the stuff in that like 20-minute rant before about a bunch of different mindsets and stuff that you need to be working on. But with your physicality, continue to decrease it, yeah? But I want you now, it's gonna sound contradictory, I've now watched you as you've calibrated your physicality, it's now gotten not enough. Which is good, because before it was too much, now it's not enough. I want you to go a little bit more into the middle ground. Just a little bit more ounce, a little more balls behind like some of your interactions, make it a little bit more man to woman. Yes, when you do that, you might repel some, but some will also be very drawn to you. So feel free to be a little bit more physical. Just don't go back to your old like caveman style, because as you've seen, like it can blow out a lot of interactions. But otherwise, bro, that stuff's really good. Trying to think of anything else that I want to cover in terms of your nighttime stuff. Bro, it's just basically building references and just keeping taking action and just being able to persevere through the rejection and like the shit nights that come up. The good nights come once your ego is completely destroyed and you detach from the outcome and you start having more fun, as Ben just went on a big rant about. Once you start having fun, bro, life brings you everything. It truly does. You'll just have like an encore of beautiful women coming into your life, or you have like a string of a lot of success. It's just when you take the process seriously, it creates blocks in terms of like the manifestation process and the synchronicity that pops up. And that's why we push so heavily on detaching from the outcome, being self-amused, having fun, just trusting that the universe will bring you what you need to have and experience. Obviously, simultaneously, we need to work on social skills because there's a skill set to it. But beyond the skill set, the only thing you can do is the absolute best that you can in that moment with the circumstances that you have been given. And once you understand that you have no control over anything else, from there, you do your best and then you just have fucking fun. You just enjoy yourself. And I promise you, with the skill sets that you've learned over this program, if you just keep going out and building references and you keep going out and you keep focusing on that framework, I already know that for a fact you're going to kill it, bro. I think you're going to be one of the clients we get to look at and go, remember AJ? Like, dude, he had a bit of a rough run at the beginning, but like, look at him now. Like, you truly have that potential as long as you don't give up, you keep taking the action, and you keep following that framework that we taught you, you'll be good to go. Now, as a quick update with this particular client after the debrief and after the immersion he attended here in Bali, he actually reached out to me a week after program and said, Alex, bro, I am so fucking grateful for what you and Ben have taught me, because last night I actually hooked up with the cutest chick I've ever hooked up with, and now we've started consistently seeing each other. And he asked me, he's like, hey man, I want to take her on a few day trips, and I remember you took a cute girl a few weeks back on like a few different trips around Bali. Could you give me some recommendations? So I gave him a few tips, some places he can go visit, and now he's been hanging out with this chick for like the last month whilst he's living here in Bali. So it's been so awesome to see the progression of this particular client, because he was technically a little bit more of a hard case, because he did have so many unconscious bad habits with his social skills and with his behaviors. But after we made just a few little tweaks, got him to just build a bit of social momentum and actually learn the frameworks, the skill sets, the mindsets that we teach, all of a sudden, he's now dating the hottest chick he's ever dated. So if you guys enjoy this type of dating and self-development content, if you also want to improve your dating situation, then make sure to leave a like, comment, or subscribe so you can continue to consume some of our content, get some value from it, and start to improve this particular area. Or potentially, if you actually want to come and hang out with us, come and attend a live 5-day immersion program, or potentially work with us online, all you've got to do is click the link in the description to book a free consultation call with either myself, Ben, or someone for our team for all coaching inquiries. But until then, see you in the next video.